Hey y'all. So, as most of you know, I've been going through a pretty rough time lately, and one thing that I've been doing that's been helping me get through is looking at my life and seeing God in different areas of my life that have been rough. And in doing so, I've been able to see where God has been faithful in the past and able to trust that He will be faithful now and that He'll be faithful in my future. So, in the last video, I shared with you guys how I could see God in my creation and even in the story of my birth. And in this video, I want to share with you guys where I can see God in the story of never meeting my biological father. So, I was born to a single mother, and I spent several years trying to fill that void of a father's love. I spent every birthday wish, every wish on a shooting star, every night at 11:11, and every prayer. God, I just want to meet my earthly father, my real biological father. Now, it's not that I didn't have great men in my life. My grandfather is an amazing man to me, and I know that he loves me without a doubt, and I also have had two incredible stepfathers who have loved me every step of the way, and I know that they've done so much for me, and I appreciate all that they have done. However, it doesn't fill the void that I had of not knowing who my biological father was. When I was a young teenager, I even tried to fill that void through a close guy friend, and I was deeply hurt by him as he took advantage of me. And I even tried to fill that void through putting my youth pastor as a father figure in my life and choosing to view him as the father figure of my life. But when God called him to a ministry far away, I was left heartbroken and empty once again. And, through the absence of my father, I just knew that I had this void, and I could see other people my friends who had fathers and their relationship that they had with their fathers, and I wanted that. But as I got older and as I matured in my faith, I finally realized something that was truly life-changing. And this is where I started realizing that God is faithful and has a plan for my life. And what I realized was that God allowed me to not ever meet my earthly father and feel that emptiness in order for me to seek God as my heavenly Father, in order for me to fill the void with His love, the love of the ultimate Father. And when I realized that is truly when I was able to close that chapter of my life and not ever question who my earthly father was again, because God had filled that void. And actually, He did so much more than that. He allowed me to never have to feel the pain of an imperfect earthly father. I have a heavenly Father who will never disappoint me, who will never leave me, and who will always be faithful to me. And so when I look at how God has been faithful in my past, that is definitely one area that I see where, the devil meant that for harm, and God was able to use it for good and was able to use it to draw me closer to Him. And so I know that He was faithful to the promise that He made in Jeremiah 29:11 whenever He said that He had a plan for me, because He knew whenever He knitted me in my mother's womb what kind of plan He would have for me. He knew that I would never know my earthly father, yet He used the devil's schemes for good. And I hope that you can see that and see that our God is faithful, even in the things that seem like they're not fair. God is using those for good. So thank you for allowing me to share with you guys these things in my life where I see God, and I'm going to continue to make these videos because there's so many more places whenever I look at the story of my life and just what I've been through where I can see that God has been working and that, He has ultimate control, ultimate authority, and is ultimately 100% faithful.